Batman says it's time for another nickel hunt, and I am not going to disagree with that. Hey there, folks. It is Silver Chupacabra here, and we're going to open that up and check out some nickels. I hope we're going to find some nickels of consequence. In other words, nickels that have a little bit more rarity to them and really make it fun. Although finding old nickels is still fun, no matter what. We definitely want to find some of the goodies, and one of the goodies we're definitely going to be looking for, since we just last hunt found this 39D. We got one more spot left. 39S, key date. Another tough one to find, folks. I've only found one before this. There's a 38S, I guess, minus the 39. Only found one before this, and that was the last one to fill that book. So I'd have to find a second one. I've only found two of these. I don't know how many of these key dates I've found before, but it isn't much more than the two that I've got now. But anyway, let's see if we can find something. Silver Ward nickels are always welcome. Semi-key dates like the 48S and the 49S are always welcome as well. Love to find another 50D. Found three of those last year. Right here. Look at where that is. Chupa. 50D. And by the way, these are semi-key dates. It's nice to find these too. Anyway, found three of these last year. Can we find at least one more this year? They're toughies to find. But those 30s, those late 30 nickels that are key dates, they're the toughest. Varieties, just not finding much of any of those, even RPMs. Buffalo nickels are certainly welcome. I finally found one for the first time in a couple of months a couple of hunts ago, and then last one didn't find one. So I'd like to get back on that train. V-nickels are also welcome. If somebody wants to throw a shield nickel into a circulated box, heck, who am I to say no? So, let's go ahead and look at the top enders and see if there's anything special laying out there already. Okay, so here are the top enders here. I saw a whole lot of newer ones, but really in kind of disgusting shape for newer ones, to be honest. A couple of old Monticellos there, or at least worn Monticellos. Don't know if they're old quite yet. Maybe they're. This one looks like it's been grinded down, as you can see. But nothing of something that I see. I don't see anything of circumstance. Anything that says, whoop, definitely you're old. No war nickels. No buffalo nickels sticking out there. I only had that one time, which was pretty cool, but still. Anyway, well, we'll start with course number one over here. Not really looking interesting there, nor there. That looks pretty darn new too. So, as usual, that inside is going to give us the things that we're looking for. Okay, well, we're still in roll one. Basically the beginning. Started checking ones out here. And we got ourselves a nice late 1959. I don't think that's a 30. It is not. Decent shape. Now, usually these are D's, but I did get a couple of Philly 59s last time. So, yep, there's the D. Cool, good start. Let's see if we got anything else in this roll. Okay, 4 rolls into this new Nickelbox search. And we have it laid out. actually a few interesting spots here, but we definitely have a date sticking out there, 1954. Pretty worn. Thinking probably a D. Well, you never know on these. There's the D. Early 1950s nickels, Philadelphia actually had lower mintages than in the past. So they actually, in some cases, they have lower mintages than the Denver ones did. Anyway, that whole roll to check out. Still in roll 4. This is just at the beginning. Nicely toned 1949. It would be the oldest find so far. This would be the third find as well. Quite a bit of wear there. Philly, I would say, is in play. And Denver, probably. Denver it is. Nice. Very cool. Well, there's still some other ones looking interesting there. Will we have a third? Well, only the shadow knows. Yeah, we're way up to roll 13. So it's been a little while since we've seen a find, but we are going to have a nice one here. We're going to hope it's going to get nicer. 1939, second year Jefferson, folks. Just found a key date 39D the last box hunt. And I'll tell you right now, this one looks in pretty decent condition, detail-wise. These are the ones you usually expect to find something. Even the key date that I did find had a very cool look to it, but it was worn. We'll have to see if we're going to get another key date out of it. A 3890 would be still a great find. Detail is there. Stairs are not. Oh, wow. I actually was expecting to see some sort of mint mark. None there. We're going to take a quick look. See if there is a notch or a little bit of an indentation on the right leg of the R. Our perspective, not the R's. I do not see one. Because it could be a counterfeit, which I don't see that being, but we'll wait later. Plus there's some cool, isn't there like a DDO and a DDR to look at there too? Anyway. Still have the whole roll to look at. Hopefully we're going to get hot again. Okay, roll 14 has been laid out, or has been laid out. But, what is that, 6 nickels in. Check it out, 1948. Nice oldie. We had a 49 earlier, but this will be the first 48. Let's say the detail hair-wise is pretty, well, it's just not very detailed. Let's wear. I'm thinking either plain or 48D, but, an S would be semi-key. Well, that will not be an S. That will be Philadelphia minted. Let's see, a nice little rim ding there on the left-hand side. Cool beans. Well, hopefully something else will come out on this roll. Hey, roll 15. We're going to have a third roll in a row with a nice coin. This one has beautiful toning. 1949. We had one earlier. It was Denver made. Yeah, it has that classical, nice orangish brown hue to it. Just love the colors of these late 40s sometimes. Doesn't always happen, but, happens a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of wear there. It's got some detail, but it's, not the worst wear I've ever seen. Same thing with the back here. I'm thinking D or Philly. D it is. So, second Denver. on the board. Kind of caught up on the count here. We're up to 6 now. And as you can see, there's plenty to look through. Okay, still on a roll for the 15, yes. Not a fine per se, but man, I tell you what, we've got a 1965 here that just flat out looks brand new. She's a beaut. With these types of coins, it's always the good to look, even though they're, nobody, 65 is worth a nickel, for heaven's sakes. Maybe a little bit more in MS, and I would say this has MS capabilities. 63 maybe at best, maybe a little bit more. In the back, you don't really see much going on in the backfield there too, and it's got a good, decent detail. I would say that this probably didn't get punched very well, or the die was a little bit on its way out because, no steps whatsoever. And this thing hasn't really been hit at all. I doubt if this has been in circulation for a whole long time. It's too bad about the, I guess there's a little bit of chin action there. Yeah, a little bit on the mouth. But other than that, it's like, yeah. But if you could find one of those with steps, there are quite a few in higher MS forms that actually are worth quite a lot. Anyway. There's the rest. We'll still keep looking. Okay, 16 the roll has been laid out, so you're on a hot streak here, folks. As we have a 1940 coming in. Looks like there's a little bit of damage there on the rim. Where the date is, I would say it's a little bit of damage. I would say there's a lot of wear on that too. I would suspect this is going to be Philadelphia. And yes, it is. There's a lot more out there. 1941. Made tons of these in Philadelphia. They tend to be the most worn out. Anyway, the question is, are there any other candidates in here? Maybe. Hey, we are on to roll 18. We did not have a find on the last roll, so that kind of broke a streak, but we're going to get right back up on it near the beginning. I just started checking out some verses, and we got a 1956. So we got a dull, kind of a, upper layer to it, but I actually say that's got some decent detail. A bit of wear on the top there, though. Usually these are going to be D for Denver. And there it is. It has that kind of a dull, it feels dull, too. It's like that's a gunk on it, so to speak. So that's one of the little later 50s. So we're back on the streak. We got 8 total finds now, so we're kind of up on the average now. Still have this whole rest of the roll to check out. Okay, roll 20 has been laid out, as you can see. And we've got a couple of finds here. We've got a couple sticking out 1954, which we have had a 54. I believe it was a D. Got a lot of good detail in the hair there. Up top, not as much, but I'm expecting D, or maybe a P. In other words, nothing. And we will get nothing, so it is Philly bound. Very cool. So there's the 54. As we get down here a little bit later, we're going to find something nicely toned, and there's a weird letter on top of Monticello. Oh, wait a minute. We know what that is. That's going to be a Civil War nickel. Awesome. Loving it. Here she is. Interesting. I'm thinking that's just dirt that's kind of encircling, or it's not really a circle, I guess. Monticello. This little part right here. But it is a Philadelphia P on top of Monticello there. Very cool. Well, what are we going to get? Very worn, by the way. Got a little bit of wear into the lettering. Will this be a 1943, which is the most minted of all the silverware nickels, or something different? Let's see what we got. It is a 3. Very, very cool. We'll take a quick check. Usually, if it's a 3/2, you can kind of tell, but I really don't see much going on there. But either way, silverware coolness. What's the latest? I think it's in the high $4 for a silver melt on these. Not that I melt silverware nickels, but 35% silver in there. It's got a little bit of worth to it now, which is pretty cool. Anyway, we've still got a whole rest of this line to check out. And that is, by the way, the 10th find of this box hunt. We are on roll 21. And the hits keep on coming. Right there, we got a nice 1956 right there, but here comes something that we really like seeing in a nickel box hunt. There it is. That's right, folks. It's Buffalo nickel time. Yes. We've got the reverse facing us here. Let's go ahead and pull it out and take a look. Very, very nice. There is no mint mark, so it will be Philadelphia minted. The horn is pretty much well missing. A little bit there, I guess. You might call that a G4. I'm thinking we probably are going to have a date on this, which is always nice. Side here, got a little bit of encroachment on Liberty, but the wear is, typical G4. I'm seeing numbers there. Oh, take a look at it. And folks, if I can get my shadow out of there, that folks is going to be in the 20s, 1929. Philadelphia minted. Oh, like I said, that makes me very, very happy. Love finding these in nickel box hunts. Yep. As you can see, you got plenty to look at, plus a 1956 to pull out up there. Still on roll 21. Of course, we're going to pull that 56 out. Had one earlier, which was D, minted at Denver. Probably going to say this is going to be exactly like that. This one's a decent condition, too. A little bit of wear, but overall, looking good. There's a chance of being Philly. And this is going to be Philly. Cool. Well, that's a very early short mint cycle. 1954 was the last year for Jefferson Nichols to have San Francisco mint marks in the back. So we're only seeing Philly and Denver at 56. And guess what? You got both of them there. So that is the short mint cycle. A little easier to get than the ones where we need to San Francisco to get the mint cycle, but still. Cool find. So that's 2 right there. And I'll tell you what, the last 10 rolls have been looking very, very good for the oldies, and they've been producing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this roll, see if anything pops up. Batman says we're on roll 23. And it just keeps on coming here for us, which I hope it doesn't turn off, that's for sure. Anyway, take a look what's pretty close to the last one here, and you can see the date. But it's looking weird. I mean, it's 1942. It's not going to be 2042, that's for sure. And 1942 is a transition year. First of all, this is in glorious shape. It's got the pallor of it's a little weird, but the details there. But 1942 is transition year, and it's has two types because that's where they started making silver ore nickels. But early in 42, they were still making the same nickel out of the same stuff. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying these things. They were making them out of the same things they've been making them out of. But then they wanted to save the nickel for stuff of war. We'll say it that way. And they started putting 35% silver, 65 copper, and then there was like 9% manganese later on in there. Now, normally I would say, oh, this is straight type 1. But this has got such a weird pallor to it that I'm not sure. It's in great shape. Could be just a silver ore nickel that's not toned. And that's the thing. Normally they come toned. But I've had some that come looking pretty decent. Well, we'll know right away whether this is type 1 or type 2 because right there, no big mint mark. That means there would either be a P or an S up there. It was 42, no D. And look at that just beautiful shape that's in. We'll have to take a look at the steps there. They're hard to tell, but let's see what we got here first. Oh, we do have a mint mark. It is a D. Very nice. Now, do we have the steps? Well, that's a good question. Let's go ahead and take a look on the scope. And as you can see, that's a no on the steps. Although there are steps there, they're just interrupted with a lot of stuff. But a very nice looking Type 1 1942. Don't get to see those too often. Okay, we're still on roll 23 right in the beginning. Just kind of checking out all the coins that are coming out, and we've got ourselves another late 1950s. 1957. Decent shape. All the ones we've had so far are pretty decent. Other than the silver ore nickel. And it does have a D, which is what I would expect. But like I said, in good condition. Cool. Still just a bit to look at. Yeah, just a little bit past halfway mark here. Roll 26. And we continue to be hot. Sitting there about 7 coins in. Looks like we have a 1955. Yes, it is. 55 it is. Pretty boring. I would not expect there to be a Philadelphia no mint mark here because that'd be a semi-key date. Probably should be a D for Denver. But you never know. And it is. So that might have been cat hairs for a second. Pencil? I don't know. So, very cool. Lots left. And let's see if there's anything out there. Still on roll 26. Just at the very beginning, I didn't even get done with getting all the obverses up. We have a 1954. I would say pretty good detail, other than it's just kind of messy in there. Something got spilled on it, maybe some Coke. But as far as detail's there for this one. We have had a Philadelphia and a San Francisco come through so far. I would actually say that this has a possibility of being a San Francisco for the cycle. It is not. It's just a very nice detailed D. which could be an upgrader. Yeah, I might actually soak that in some warm water to see if that gunk comes off. It's hard to tell if there's stairs there or not. Anyway, very cool. A couple finds already, and we still really haven't begun going through the roll. Okay, near the end of roll 28. You have nothing left here. Got a 1941. Did have one earlier, which I believe was a filly. So it's got a little bit of a brownish, whatever you want to call it, hue. Well, it's a color, that's for sure. Brownish red color to it. Not a tone. And it is Denver style. Nice. Well, roll 29 is up next. Okay, onto that fourth row of 10 rolls. Roll 32. And we've got a 1946. First one out from that year. It's got a little bit of that toning we expect from the late 40s, but it's a little cleaner. Plenty of wear. Plenty of wear there too, although we do get a little bit of the outlines windows there. Philly probably could be Denver. Denver it is. Very cool. As I said, if you look up, we've got a pretty good spread throughout. We've almost got all the years, not all the mint marks, of course, for those years, but 39 through 46, that should be there. 47's missing. You got 50, 51, 52 missing. Plus 58. I would expect that to come in sometime. We are on to roll 33. Hey, on the back end of roll 33, check through everything, but we got this nicely toned 1949. We've actually had a couple of 49s already. I don't know if they're both D's or not. I do know this is a D because I've seen the back on it. If it wasn't an S, it would have been a semi-key day, which would have been very cool, but I don't know, it's 1949 day. We got 3 of them, 106. Nice detail on there. I think that could have been at San Francisco, really. If it wanted to be. The other 49s. Oh, check them. We're going to go on to roll 34 next. Okay, one more roll left in the fourth row of rolls. We're on roll 39. I guess I could have just said that instead, right? We have a 1947. We have not seen that date yet. I don't know about the mint mark yet, but kind of got a flash there. And it is Philly. We will be able to actually check for a notch on the R. I do not see it. Check for the Henning counterfeit there. I'll have to weigh that later. But that is actually fine number. That is fine number 20. And as you can see, we've had every date in there that we needed through the 40s. 51, 52, 50, 51, 52 are the only ones. Well, I take it back. We do have 58 that's missing. But we still have a few to check out here. Okay, end of roll 40. And we're finally going to get that last late 50s. 1958. Yes. It was probably going to be D for Denver. And there you are. There you go. Onward we go to roll 40. Roll 44, 6 rolls left, folks. It's getting down there. Will we get another nickel of consequence? Well, here we are kicking through here. Right there. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it on camera there. You can't see it. That is an S mint mark on the back. The last nickel to have an S mint mark on the back was 1954. So this has to be at least 1954. But there are lots of coins there that could be to make it older. There you go. You can see that S clearly there. It's a decent shape. Pretty clean. I mean, there's wear there, sure. I'll be very interested to see what this is going to be. There are key dates, semi-key dates. You know how this goes. That's a lot of wear there too. Hard call. It'll be in the 40s. 48, 49 would be semi-key dates. Oh, it's just going to be straight out 40. Very cool. I know we don't have that. We haven't had any S's on this hunt. Yeah, it's worn, but decent shape. That is fine 22. We will check the rest of this out. Okay, we are at roll 46. Getting near the end here. Just laid this one out. And we get another 46 kicking out there. Lots and lots of wear. Figuring either a D or a Philly on this one. Philly it will be. Since it is a Philly, we will check out the right leg of the R to see if there's an indentation there. I do not see one. We will measure it later just in case, see if it is a Henning counterfeit, but most probably not. But now we've got what? We had a 46 earlier, which was a D. And now we've got a 46 Philly. Still have the rest of the roll to check out. Okay, well, we've got an empty box. That means we are done with this nickel box hunt. Batman agrees. And here is our setup for this. I believe we've got either 24 or 25 finds, somewhere in there. Plus some interesting, just nickels in great shape. And we got 3 goodies. So let's go ahead and go through this and check out our collection books if we got anything to do there. We start there with 1939. And by the way, that is a nice 1939. I could see that updating something. Philadelphia, by the way. 1940 Philly with a little rim ding there. And then we've got a 40S. One of the few S's. I don't know if we got another S on this. I think that is. Anyway, 41D, 46, and a 46D. A couple other ones from Philadelphia, a 47 and a 48. And you got 3 Denver minted 1949s. You have a 1954 Philly minted and 2 54Ds. 55D, we got the short mint cycle there with a 56 Philly and a 56 Denver. There was no San Francisco that year. 1957D, a couple 58Ds, a couple 59Ds. Pretty cool. And up here we've got some nice, like shiny, really nice nickels. I still am trying to figure this one out. That looks bad in this light. Let's see if I can pull that up a little bit more. I'm telling you, man, that thing, it's got a coating on it, I do believe. Done past the minting process, of course. 3 biggies here. Usually I would not include a Type 1 42D, but it was in such nice shape. Probably more high XF than or AU, I would say, than anything else. Just beautiful shape. That should be an upgrader, I would think. Somewhere. 43p silver or nickel. Very cool as well. And then we got our second Buffalo of the year, 1929 Philadelphia. I love it that it's a Philadelphia. I don't know if we're going to be filling any holes, but one can hope. Cross my fingers. There it is. Very cool setup all the way across the board. We're going to check these for varieties and then bring you back in the checkout collection books. Okay, so was going through and looking for varieties. This is the 49D, minted in Denver. But I do actually believe this is an RPM D over S. There's the S right there. I'm going to clean this out a little bit more. And if it is a D over S, I'll probably make a separate short out of it and put it out that way. But I thought that was pretty cool. It looks pretty straight out, or straightforward that is an S in back of there. Can't be a D, by the way. Continuing on. So in front of me, I've got a new catalog book from where Jefferson Nichols started in 1938 all the way to 1961. I'm going to start a new one. I've decided, since we've got a pretty good spread on this set of nickels here. I did one last year too, started a new one. It's kind of I'm trying to make it a tradition. There you go. So we'll fill this out with the nickels that we found, or fill it out as much as we can. The unfortunate thing is, really, I wasn't looking for 59 or 60s and 61s here, so we'll have to start looking for those. Those will be there real quick. Anyway, I'll let you know. Okay, so I did check for varieties, and we do have that one pending look after cleaning of a 49 D, or a D over an S, yes. It's not the other way around. Anyway, we'll check that out later, and like I said, if it is a D over S RPM, we'll definitely pull a short out for that one. But anyway, there is the what I was talking about earlier. We were going to fill what we could with the finds we had in a new book, and here it is. The funny thing is, I could swear starting out with that, it's like, oh yeah, it'll fill most of it. It's like, it doesn't even fill half of it. But that'll get filled as we go throughout the year. It's something more for me to do than just looking at the primary and trying to fill one out. Gotta be busy. So anyway, we got that one started. Here is, if I can do this without being major wreckage. This is our primary at this point, and we do have a couple of upgraders here. That 1939 that we found, Philadelphia, that's in really nice shape. It's too bad there wasn't a DDR or a DDO on that, because it's very clear to look at. But anyway, that's a good upgrade. Another upgrade. I gotta try to remember these as we go along. I'm thinking. Oh, there we go. 42D, the Type 1. Right here. And you can see the upgrade time on that. And then there was a 54D that I really liked. That probably could be cleaned a little bit just with some water. And it's in really nice shape. Better shape than the one we had in there. So there's all the upgrades. And then, last but not least, here's our Buffalo Nickel collection book. And guess what, folks? There was nothing in 1929, so we got a filler. And I'm very stoked about that. First filler of the year in the Buffalo Nickel box. The Buffalo Nickel collection book. I'm getting confused here. I already have an S. Needed a D. D would be probably the lowest minted. Now the S's. There's not a ton of mintage on the 29 Philly either, by the way. But anyway, very cool. Cool setup throughout, and that is it. As I said, we'll check on that 49D over S See if that even has anything. If you don't see anything on it, guess what? It wasn't one. Currently soaking that in hot water just to kind of clean a little bit of the gunk out of that area there. Next, we'll go on to, I think I'll just actually go through some dimes, see how I do on that. The first one was not a winner. In other words, we didn't find anything in the first dime box of the year. That was the January one. And we've got a February one. We'll do that. I'm hoping I've got at least an idea of what to look for in the dimes when it comes to varieties, which is kind of nice. There's not a ton to look for, though. And even the tininess of the dime actually wasn't a big problem. So anyway, that is it, folks. You're on to the dimes, as I said. Hope everybody enjoyed this. If you are watching the long form on this, I know it's long, of course, but, if that's what you enjoy, that's what you enjoy. I made it for you. And if not, well, don't watch it. Or watch parts of it. It doesn't matter to me. Like I said, I made it for whoever's interested in actually watching it. And we're done. And we'll see you in the future, sometime in the near future. Probably be already on nickel boxes by Friday. This is early Wednesday morning. Depends on how long it takes to get through the dimes. Dimes didn't take that long the first time around. We are gone. Be safe out there, folks. Cheers.